to a show.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Off the Mats Podcast. And I don't even know where we are right now. 2024, 2020. It's December, so you know how that goes. You just don't know what's going on. It kind of goes back to those school days when you have those Christmas vacations and everything, and it gets weird. And then when the new year hits, you still feel weird. So that's where I am right now. So I don't know if this episode's coming out in December or January, but you know what's good about it? You getting it. So that's what's up. So for this episode, I want to welcome one of my teammates, another teammate actually from Crazy 88. I always go through these runs where I sit with teammates kind of in a row, and I like to say, hey man, I want to like kind of do like space it out, but then I just end up like sitting down like 4 in a row. I was like, okay, maybe not. But for this episode, I actually wanted to have this gentleman on because we've trained a little bit, and then I see him around, and he's been competing like crazy and out there just kicking ass. So I was like, you know what? Now's the time to have this dude on, find out his story, and just learn more about him, and let him share his story. And for that, we're gonna go ahead and welcome and introduce Mr. Marv Green. What's up, Marv? How you feeling, man?
I'm good, brother. No complaints. I could complain, but I won't.
It's like Junior Soprano said, they're like, how you doing, Uncle June? Never complain. Nobody cares anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why I try not to. And even when I do, I make jokes of it. So, but hey, you're here. And that's the good thing. Thank you for also making the trip out.
I'm honored to be here, brother.
Like, you know, I was like, yo, you want to do this? He was like, all right, you know. And then you mentioned anxiety, and I was like, hey, dude, we're gonna be good. We're fine. I got it too. You got it. Worst case scenario, this is gonna be the most awkward episode ever, and that shit's still entertaining too. So, but I wanted to have you on because first of all, I wanted to learn your story, learn your jiu-jitsu journey, and just as folks cross paths in the gym. You don't normally, sit and talk with them. At least I'm not there too often where like I'm hanging out afterwards. If I'm at training, I'm about my business and I get out because I probably got to get back home so my wife can take the car and go to work. Because, we a 1-car household here. Gotcha. Don't y'all judge us. But for you and just your journey into jiu-jitsu, what got that started for you?
So I want to say it was about roughly about 8 years ago. So I work in a hospital with criminally insane clients, and there's a coworker of mine. His name is Paul McDonald, smaller guy, significantly smaller than me, and we do these training sessions where you learn to deal with the patients. It's called like PMAB holds. Totally ineffective. I think that they should be teaching jiu-jitsu at my job, but that's not gonna happen. And we were doing this one hold, and Paul grabbed me. Like I said, he's significantly smaller than me, and I could not break this hold, man. And it was kind of like, I don't want to call it a macho thing, but I'm like, man, there's no way this guy should be able to hold me in the manner that he's holding me. And we laughed and joked about it, and I'm like, bro, how did you do that? And he was like, well, I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I'm like, I was familiar with it, from like watching like the UFC, and I've heard about it. So I was like, man, I need to get at a shot. So he was like, well, we got classes where I train. He was training at Baltimore. I think it was Baltimore Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at the time. Yeah. And he was like, you can come there, and they got like a monthly free trial, and they love you because I was lifting weights at the time too. So when I get to the place. And you sign a waiver, you meet all the guys there, and he was like, man, they're gonna love you. You're a big dude. And so I step out onto the mats, man, and I had no concept as to like I watched it, but I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing because where I'm from, like you take a guy down, man, and like that's the match. Once you get a guy down, like that's it, But I step on the mat and like guy pulls guard, and I'm like, yo, what am I supposed to do, man? Like. And the guy was just like, just come on, like just do whatever like just work. And I jump on the guy, and I'm thinking like the match is over, and he just twists me up like a pretzel. It's a small guy, man, and I don't know. I fell in love with like with the art ever since, bro. Like I was intrigued, man. I'm like, bro, like sign me up for this, like, and that's kind of like how the journey started.
Yeah, that it's funny because when you mentioned work, and talk about like they should be teaching jiu-jitsu there. Like there are a lot of jobs where they're like, we have this specific training that we do, and this is how you handle this situation. It's like, no. Like some shit went down like that at my job, and my job I don't necessarily need jiu-jitsu, but there's some stuff in jiu-jitsu that could help.
Yeah,
like they're like, hey, if someone grabs your arm, do this. I was like, I'm gonna let you know right now, that ain't gonna work.
Exactly.
Like y'all gonna need to do one of these, over that wrist, get out of there. But like jiu-jitsu is that thing that's super important, I think, all around in so many different avenues, but for your work, I think especially, it's like you gotta have some knowledge at least.
Because it's all about containment, like in the Department of the Department of DHMH, like you got to protect the clients, like you can't go in there and go like putting hands on these guys. So like jiu-jitsu, like it helps, it helps knowing jiu-jitsu, but that's not something that that's not something that I don't think they're gonna put that on the table anytime soon. Well, man,
And, I think I guess the guy up on the subway in New York a couple years back, something just came about with that, and that's something that always comes to mind. Is like somebody I guess he put a homeless dude in a chokehold.
Yeah,
because he was harassing people. I think he broke a lady's orbital bone, stuff like that. Which on one note, good for you. Stopping the the assault, but also, hey, like you could have contained that dude without choking him unconscious and then killing him.
Definitely.
So having that knowledge, of at least knowing what to do, when to do it, how to do it, versus like, well, I saw this on a fight once, but apparently I think he's was
they acquitted him.
Yeah,
that was crazy. It's like it's so many like little subtle holes and subtle moves that we learn that you don't have to like strangle a person, man. Like that's going a little too far, Like
you could just contain them, and I think though, again, not being in that situation, I guess because apparently the guy was saying all these wild things, so it was like maybe he thought like I got to shut this dude off. Maybe, I don't know, but
it was a bit rough, man. It was an unfortunate situation for everybody, but
But the fact that you have that knowledge though goes a long way, and good for you. Having the presence of mind, saying, "Hey, I'll go check it out because this little dude over here, like, locked me up and I can't move. Let me go see what this shit is about." Because
it's magical.
People get egos and they're like, "Learn that shit is dumb."
Oh that it was magical to me, man. Like, because I was always on that journey of trying to be like. Like powerful, like the whole nerd thing. Like I'm big on that. Like I grew up like being a nerd, and then like getting bullied, and maybe I had the wrong attitude at one point. Like I just didn't. I wanted to be able to beat everybody, not like go like far as like not one of those guys that got bullied and okay, I'm gonna turn on the world, but like I wanted to be able to protect myself, like no matter what the situation was. Yeah. So whether it be through lifting weights or whether it be through martial arts, I just wanted to always be able to protect myself against anyone. Like so.
Yeah, but you get that confidence too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely, man. I'll tell you, like where I'm at now, like it's a more peaceful confidence. Like I'm not confrontational. There have been times where, and I'm not proud of it. There have been times where like I kind of welcomed it. Not proud of those times. And then you throw in like some dark parts of my past. Like I told you, I had a drinking problem, and that has almost gotten me in trouble at times, but like right where I'm at now, like I try to avoid confrontation at all times. Even when I'm at work, like I'm real good at de-escalating situations, but just through like verbal, verbal interactions with the patients.
Good, good. I think that's a big thing there too, though, is the avoidance of confrontation. You see so many people, and I was just actually talking with Mark about this probably today or yesterday. We were just recently talking about this, whole thing with fighting. It's like, more often than not, we can just walk away. We don't have to prove ourselves. And there's a power to that, knowing that, like, I don't have to get involved in the situation. But there are so many folks that we know that, it's like they invite that confrontation. They welcome it. And, I was explaining to him that I had actually the first person that introduced me to jiu-jitsu, got me on the mats out in Colombia. He was the kind of guy that in his mind is like, I'm protecting. So I'm going out looking for a confrontation to protect. You're not protecting anyone when you're looking for a fight.
Right.
You're actually putting people in danger. And his significant other, I used to work with him, so we still talk. And she was explaining a situation where it's like they were out one night, and it became very clear that, like, it's not helpful when you're trying to confront people and make something happen. Like, the people that you think you're protecting actually feel more afraid.
Yeah.
Because anything can happen. So, for you to, kind of say, hey, I'm at this peaceful place now where if confrontation comes up, I don't got to get involved. I just walk away. Like, because I think what comes with that, though, too, is like, you can walk away.
Yeah.
But if they want to make it a situation.
Yeah.
And, I can shut it down.
And ironically, like, times where I have engaged, like that, there's no vindication. Like, you feel kind of void. Like, you feel empty. Like, you don't. There's no prize. Like, it's like, dude, you did that. What was that for? Like, like you don't. I don't take any pleasure into it. So,
well, also too, you don't know what people like. People are wild. Weapons be, involved in. I don't care how much jiu-jitsu somebody, a little gun happy.
Yeah. Or knife. I've been in those type of circumstances too, man. Like, thank the Lord, brother, I'm still here. Like,
I mean, but I think the knowledge of training, but also the wisdom of maturity. As we get older, a lot of us look at that and we're like, man, I don't want to get involved with that shit. There are times I don't even go out. My buddy's like, yo, you want to go out to Baltimore? Go to. It's like, nah. There's a lot of humans out there, man. You know how humans get when there's a crowd of them. It's like, nah, that's fine. I'll never have a problem when I'm out there. Yeah, I mean, and I'm proud of you, but I ain't going. I'm gonna stay home. And if I do go, it's during the day. Like, I go on a Sunday morning when the soccer matches are on at 10 a.m. It's like, all right, cool. Oh, soccer's over. It's probably time to go home.
Right.
Brunch is over.
Yeah.
So.
If I'm not training, either I'm training, or working, or I'm home, man.
Good. It's a simple life.
Yeah. One that I'm at peace with, so.
Good. So when you started training, like, how long before you, like, did you feel like in those early days you want to compete or anything? Because I know we talked about anxiety before, or was that something you're just like, you know what, let me just kind of play around here on the mats and really pull this in? And then, at what point were you like, you know what, I think I want to really test myself now on the competition?
Yeah, so it's an intriguing story. Like, I had so much trouble, like, understanding. Like, I always compared to, like, remember that part on The Matrix where, like, Neo was talking to the guy, like, and they were looking at the screen, and he was like, I look at the screen and I just see blondes, brunette. Like, it was just so confusing to me, man. I compared to, like, if you could take, like, Tetris, Jenga, and, like, I don't know, some kind of make some kind of physical activity and merge it. Like, it was confusing to me. Like, I had trouble grasping it. Like, I just didn't. I never. It was hard for me to, like, understand like how to how to apply all the holds, like or like just like name the different positions. Like it was a stressful, like stressful introduction, and then like I wasn't at the most person friendly. The school like it wasn't like it wasn't a lot of friendly guys there. It was a lot of ego and
Sure.
upper belts, like, so it was rough, man.
Like, when did you transition over to Crazy 88?
Oh, so that was that's a funny story. So I came to 88 maybe like a year ago, and I did like my 7-day free trial. But at the time, I was I was having some personal issues where I'm thinking to myself like, man, I can't be at this place and like pursue my journey. So I wound up going to alcohol and drug treatment in December. And when I was down there, like I had introduced some people to jiu-jitsu. I was like teaching some classes. We had groups, and like people were gravitated to it. Like when you got people that don't know the art, like it just kind of it seems like I was elevated to a different level. Which
Okay. Right.
so I had made the choice when I was down there. Like when I go home, man, like that's the place where I'm going to go to. Because like I was at that point, I'm like I want to take this thing like very seriously. So when I came home in beginning of January, and I tried to do like another 7, like like the free trial, but like that, once you start it, like they they was like, man, you gotta sign up. You already came and did your 7 days, and at the time I was also working too, like so that was why I couldn't complete the first trial. And so it's like back in January.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, I remember. I think you and I crossed paths. I want to say
Yes,
up
we
here
did.
at SP on one of the Sunday open mats.
I got a story about that too. That was when I was getting ready for my first match with you guys. Yeah,
I remember you were telling me, and I was like, okay, and I'm like sitting there, was like kind of working with you, and I think maybe Navarro had come over,
Yeah.
and had us working on specific things. And he's telling you to like you gotta snap them down. I'm just like,
man.
I was like, look, man, I'm here to help you. Do what you got to do. I'll brace myself. Like, do you?
That took some getting used to, because it's not like that at a lot of other schools, man. Like and it's not a bad thing, and it took me 11 months later to learn that competing at the IBJJF, like you have to, like there's a certain speed you got to be willing to go at, like those dudes didn't mess around,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm real big on like I don't want to be like, I think I was telling you, like, I don't want to be the jerk or the dickhead. Like, I'm always apologizing. I'm sorry for the language, like, but I'm always, anytime, like, Bear made a joke, like, man, you can get grips on someone and you apologize. And then Jeremy did this thing where he was like, man, if you apologize, for every time you apologize, you gotta do 10 burpees. Like, stop apologizing, man. Like, this is not ballerina dance. And I understood it. I'm just like naturally a nice dude, man. Like, but yeah, when we were drilling, I was getting ready for my first match with you guys, man, and I just the skill level, man, like the skill disparity, like between like 88 and like other schools. Like no disrespect to the other schools, man, but it's I can't explain it. Like it's majestic, it's magical, man. Like you have to. There's something different that you got to have, like to train at 88, man. Like something internal, like it's intense, man.
Oh yeah, it's like, and I always say it too. Is like I feel like I'm biased, but it's like no. It's like I think we are, if not the best, one of the top 2, maybe 3 schools. I think we're number 1.
Bro, I've trained at a lot of schools, and yeah, like and then like I was watching something on YouTube where like Craig Jones was he did a podcast with Keena Cornelius, and he was talking about how Keena Cornelius trained at some of the best schools, and one of the schools that he name dropped was Lloyd Urban. So like, definitely,
I think he's had spent some time out in Maryland.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So it's not even a question of if, man. Like this is definitely like the level of progression that I've made, like just like on a local level.
Mm-hmm.
It's worlds, man. Like I've never made this kind of progress. I don't care like how serious that I've like throughout my journey I've taken my training. I've never made the level of progress that I've made training with 88 at any other school.
I think that there's something to be said about that though too. I think we have a great culture.
Yeah,
I think we're all there to help each other. I've never encountered anyone there that's not willing to help someone else on the mats. There might be some folks that might seem like kind of like super stoic and not confrontation, but it's like you don't want to approach them.
Yeah.
But it's not that they're like not cool. It's not that they don't want to help you. It's just that they're focused.
Yeah.
It's like because there's a couple of folks I look and I was like, let me go over here. Let me go over here and like let's see that guy over there smiling. Let me go talk to that guy because this guy got this grimace on his face. He looked like if we drill in and I step one centimeter off in the wrong direction, he was like, okay, I can't work with this guy.
Yeah.
But it's not that at all. I mean, everyone's so patient. Everyone's so like and even when it comes to like if you're messing something up, no one's going to give you a hard time about it.
No.
They're going to give you constructive criticism in a way that's helping you get better. And then, even breaking it down to like chunks, like small chunks. And, we see it on the competition match when we see, our competitors at all belt levels just going out there and thrive. And it's like, damn, dude, like, even though I don't compete, it's like, I'm at the right place.
Bro, like when we were getting ready for my match, and like we were going back and forth doing our thing, like, and I would do something wrong, like you would make me pay for it, like in a good way, like, and I'm like, damn, like that, like it was like a subtle sweep you caught me with one time. I'm like, bro, I've never seen anybody pull that off, bro. Like, and like I said, it came from a very good place, bro. Like,
well, I think also too, it's like, I mean, when we're training, when we're drilling, it's like, all right, like if I do something. It's like, because I'm just so used to it. It's like, if I get a sweep on you or you make a mistake, I have to capitalize on that because, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Anyone else is going to do it. They're going to be a lot worse than I am. I think we're similar in that regard where like, I'm always apologizing. I'm always like,
we are, man. We had that conversation. Like we definitely, we split an image of each other, bro.
It's like, there are times, I was talking with Mahoney about this last year and I was like, because I used to be a really mean person. I used to be a bully. I used to be a dickhead. And I was like, I don't want to become that person again. So I'm super apologetic. I'm always like, and he was like, I was rolling with CH, or I was about to roll with CH. He was like, you have to be mean. Like, yeah. Like, you not mean like in a hurtful way, but like you have to, go at him because he's not going to hesitate on you, which he was right. He wrist locked me. Like, I was like, okay, this fucking guy, this guy here with the wrist locks. But I mean, that's just the thing. It's like, we push each other, iron sharpens iron, so, and even with that, it's like, the folks that you train with regularly, it's like, what better group,
Definitely, man.
So, the first competition for you, getting set up and everything, getting prepped. Like, going into that competition, how were you feeling? Did you feel prepared, or do you feel like maybe
the first one I did with you guys?
Yes,
I was a little nervous, mainly because I think I was telling you like my cardio, like that's an enigma, and it's a part of training like that I didn't like to address. And I'm like, bro, I'm going into this. So like the event I did was like Liquid Swords was a super fight event, and I had to go against one of my teammates from one of my old schools, and I'm like, bro, I'm gonna be wearing like I was really proud when I bought that blue belt rash guard, man. I'm like, I'm gonna be wearing this rash guard to this match, man, and like I'm carrying y'all name into this competition. Like everybody knows 88. It weirdly, some like a lot of we get a lot of hatred. Like I don't know why. Like a lot of good people have said things about the school, and it's kind of disappointing to me because I'm like, bro, I'm there. I'm present. Things that I'm like the rumors that I hear, man, like it's just not true, like but yeah, I was nervous in that regard. Cause I was like, I don't want to let you guys down, man. I don't want to go in there and represent the school and I did wind up losing that match, and the man that I lost that match, I was telling Coach Julius about a month later because we had the grappling industries a month later. I was telling Coach Julius like the way and the manner in which I lost, I don't want to lose anymore in that manner. And he was like, man, well, start coming to class. But yeah, I was real nervous, man. Like it was a lot of pressure.
Sure. Like that's the thing about that pressure. It's like, I hear a lot of folks are like, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I did that one time, which I actually didn't feel a lot of pressure. I think afterward, I didn't feel great afterward for whatever reason. But like, they say, it gets easier for some. For others, they just fight through it. But the thing is, you did it. You got out there, you got to feel, what it was like getting out there. And like you say, you're representing, Crazy 88, on your rash guard. And, I guess the ideal too is like you say, you lost, and you're like, I don't want to lose anymore.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to lose that way, especially anymore. So, the fact that, you came out with that attitude was like, back to the drawing board. We gonna get this back. So, I mean, you're in the right place, son.
I'm honored to be here, bro. Like I told him, like, I'm not going anywhere. They're going to have to get rid of me. Like I said, I'm working on getting my shift changed so I can train more consistently.
Like, what's your training split like right now?
So I try to do 3 days a week, but like I work the night shift, and I love training at like Owens Mills and SP, but like it's from 7 to 9, so. And I live in East Baltimore, so I might get to train an hour. Sometimes I'll train 2, but then I got to rush home, take a shower, and I work in Jessup. So,
yeah.
But there have been it just varies. Like that. What tournament was it? I want to say it was the one we did Naga in Jersey, like the Battle of the Beach. Like I trained profusely for that tournament. Like it was times where I was at work falling asleep. Like I think I was training like 5 days a week. And I was training on Saturdays. So, like, it varies. And I trained pretty hard for, like, the recent IBJJF joint, but I had some family. Like, I recently lost my grandmother, so, like, that hindered me somewhat. But that was something that she was big on. Like, she, that was, like, a therapeutic thing that I did. Like, she didn't want me going backwards. In terms of like, she ain't want me relapsing, so I tried to. I made her that promise that, man, look, we gonna bring home this gold medal for you, and that was a rough camp, but like, yeah, it kind of varies, but like once I get on day shift, like it's you guys gonna be seeing me more,
Good, yeah. I mean, those work schedules, they can be brutal. I mean, especially the shift that you have.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do any kind of training.
Oh, tell me about it, man. Like, and then like I said, like the nature of the business, man. Like you working with guys that are, and I work on the admissions unit, so like that's where like these guys check in, they're not medicated, and sometimes they be, they be ready to go there, and then some people, like for the guys that don't know me, they see me, and it's like, okay, let me challenge this guy. I'm gonna challenge this dude right here, and they got like. Usually, like I haven't had any incidents out there in a while, but it's definitely challenging.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to you for doing that. Somebody's got to do it. It ain't gonna be me.
Yeah, I can dig it, man. Like,
because I mean, it might be in my head one day. It's like, I could do that. There ain't no problem, man. I get out there, I'll be all right. And then first day somebody yell, I'm like, hey, he's supposed to be talking like that.
Yeah.
Why he's so loud?
Yeah.
Like, you want me to handle it? Hey.
But what's odd? Like it's just like, and not to throw shade on other schools I trained at, man. Like, but like it's usually like your coworkers that you had the most issues with, man. Like, like at some of the other schools I trained at, like. I look at Crazy 88. It's like an old school nuclear family, man. Like, I remember I was talking to Coach Julius one time, and I'm like, is it okay if I compete and do, sir? Because I would hear rumors like they don't want you competing, like if it's not on the schedule. And he was like, well, we we don't care if you do, but we discourage, and it's only because of like what people think about it. And what I took away from that is like, man, it's like you don't want your kids like going off by themselves, like doing, like. And I perform better with my coaches are present, man. Especially Coach Keith, man.
Oh yeah,
that dude has. Oh my God, bro! Like he is. There have been some matches that if it weren't for that dude being present, bro, I would have gotten destroyed, and I wound up doing the destroying. So
good. Yeah, I think our coaches, like all of them, all like from top to bottom, are just they just understand people. They understand how to get the best out of you. It's like when I used to go to Keith's Wednesday morning class over at Elkridge, and I always feel like awkward, like talking to Keith, and I'm just like, I just feel uncomfortable. Like, but when he's coaching me and instructing me on stuff, like that awkwardness goes away. It's like I understand what he's saying. I don't feel like, at no point do I feel like, I'm disappointed or messing up. It's like as he's explaining it, you feel like this is like, an uncle, or dad, like explaining something to you in a way that in a way that you're gonna get it, but it's not going over your head.
Right.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he's real good at that.
It's like because of his classes on Wednesdays, that's when I started really doing like note taking, because the way that he would explain it, it was easy for me to go back, write those notes down straightforward, and be like, okay, I got everything I need here now, and kind of read back through it, and it was easier to understand the move versus like not. It's like, okay, I got this. Like, I'll figure it out, and then it's like, maybe I didn't figure it out. No matter how much drilling I would do, it's like I didn't do it. But after taking his classes, and I would write down my notes, and then I would drill. It's like, okay, I gets it now. So
I usually record like when they doing it. I was scared too. I'm like when I first started, I'm damn man, I know you can't put on no camera in this place, because even now I still say it to this day, man. Like going to a class with those guys. Like if it's whether it's Sergio or like you said, Coach Keith or Julius, it's almost like going to a seminar or private.
Yeah,
like it's these dudes, bro. Like I can't like I said, I don't want to throw shade on any of my other coaches, man. But like these dudes, it's a different level with these guys, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way that they, like you said, like the way that they articulate the like or break down like how to perform the moves or like the subtle things that you have to do, like it's like going to a seminar.
Yeah.
So I was I'm like, man, can I record? And they was like, sure, you can record. Coach Keith would always joke like, you don't put any of the instructionals on online where you showing me. Like if you show me, then you can't record anymore. It's Coach Keith, he's hilarious, man. But,
dude, I remember, like I asked to have him demonstrate a move, and I was like, can I record it? And because he knows about BJJ, he was like, don't put that shit on the internet. I was like, dude, I'm not like I'm gonna be in it, so of course I'm not gonna put it on the internet. I don't want to be on the internet. But I record on Saturday mornings. Now I just record the technique being explained, like Coach Mahoney's doing it. I got my phone, I'm recording it, and then I record myself drilling it.
Right.
And then I record my rounds afterward as well. That doesn't look as good.
It happens to us, man. Bro, I always would record my rounds with Baird, like the bro champ. Oh my God, man! Like, oof. But I got him to thank for a lot of my victories as well, man. It's kind of like how can I compare it to you? You train and drill with him, and then you go to a competition, and it's like on Dragon Ball where the Saiyans. The gravity is like 10 times Earth's gravity. So when I'm going to a competition, it's like normal gravity. Like these dudes don't stand a chance. And I mean, that's just what mainly the locals, but
I mean, it matters though.
Yeah,
because that builds, from local, to nationals. It makes a big difference. And again, the folks that you're in the training room with, it's like there's always this frustration. I feel like sometimes when it's like we're working on something, it's like, damn, I can't get it, here. It's like, well, we've all been training it. We all know what we're going for. We know each other's moves. So when you do get something on someone that you train with regularly, especially because now it's like, oh, you knew it was coming, and you couldn't stop it because you've worked on it so hard. So you know it's going to work out there.
Yeah.
You know those other cats can't stop you then. It's like,
Yeah.
this shit is mine.
Yeah. I put a highlight on Instagram of a move that Sergio taught us a week before IBJJF. Like, and so it was like a sweep. I think it was like an octopus guard sweep. But it also went back to when I would drill with Jeremy, like if I would drill like a single leg and I would take Jeremy down and he would be like, okay, shoulder pressure, cross face. Like I landed the octopus sweep on the guy and then he reversed me because I relaxed for a minute. And you can't do that. Like I said, the speeds at IBJJF, man, like them dudes don't stop moving, so.
Yeah, it's like once you get excited because you got the move. It's like, oh shit, I got the move. Yeah,
I think that's what happened.
And they're like, oh, hold on, relax, buddy. This shit ain't over yet. We still got 2 minutes left in this match. Let me get my points back. But that was something that working with Coach Mahoney, was kind of that thing that kind of clicked. Was like the pressure. Yeah. Like I knew how to apply pressure, but like working with Coach Mahoney. He was like, look, he was like, here, put your shoulder pressure on me here. Like, all right, like I know you can, be more aggressive with that. You can, be stronger with it. And the more and more I worked with him, the more and more, it got, the stronger it got to the point now where it's like, if I get any kind of top game, it's like, oh, let me show you what I learned.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
But yeah, like all of our coaches are just, those guys were, like you said, it's like a seminar, especially like with Coach Julius. It's like,
oh yeah,
it's just this thing. It's like when he's speaking, it's almost like, you're mesmerizing. Yeah. I don't think I haven't been to a whole lot of his classes, just schedule wise, but the few that I have been in, I'm just like in awe. I'm like, because I come away with so much just from that one class. I was like, damn, dude, how did I learn that much from this dude, like in 90 minutes, and retained it too at that. So, like, we got a good group there, man.
Yeah, definitely.
So Jersey, you just did that. Tell me about it. How was it?
Oh, it was surreal, man. It was everybody. I was warned that it's the level of competition. Like it's not a local. It's gonna be different. And I learned in a very my performance was decent. Like so like in my division, the super heavyweight, I lost my first match. I made some subtle mistakes. Could have did a little better, and I was discouraged at first. And then Navarro reached out to me and was like, man, do the open class and get your leg back. And that's what I did. Like I jumped into the open class, and me and Mark did. And I won my first match, lost the second one, and I felt confident about it. It was cool. It was a great experience all in all. It's some things I need to work on though. Like it's a lot of things I need to work on. I learned a lot about myself. And it's like that with every competition.
Sure. That's the thing. With going out there and competing too is, if you go out and compete and you don't gain from it, you don't learn anything from it, then what were you really doing?
Yeah.
Like someone said, nobody's ever gotten worse by competing.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
Pulling any kind of knowledge from it, win or lose.
Yeah.
It is, the top prize.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had a good experience with that. And, you sound like, good, like, yeah, give me more. Give me more. So good.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to it's not going to be my last time doing it, man. Sure. Like I said, after I took that first loss, I was down, man. Like I was down in the dumps. But it took me back to like my first two competitions, like with you guys, I lost, and then I wound up medaling like maybe like the next 4 or 5 locals I did afterwards. Like I medaled, like so. I think it's gonna be more of the same. Like I said, I'm gonna make the adjustments, man. Like no big deal. As long as you compete in this sport, like wins and losses are going to happen. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to do this and not take any losses.
Well, yeah, very true. I mean, I feel like anyone that goes into anything expecting to win all the time and not take a loss is like your expectations are not realistic.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, you're just setting yourself up for failure because I feel like those folks, those were the kids who wanted everything and could never, they're not coachable. And then when they are told otherwise, they throw a tantrum. So it's like, you get those guys out there that, you go out, take a loss, go back to the drawing board. Go out there, get a win, go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
No matter what, you're still working. But there are folks that think like, oh, I'm not supposed to lose. I got to win every time. I got to win them all. I mean, but that's my kid. My kid is 8. She does that, with board games. Like, I got to win all the time. It's like, no. So if you're a grown ass adult and you're out there, I got to win every time. It's like, hey, I got some board games for you to play, homie. I got Chutes and Ladders, and we're about to get down. And let me tell you right now, you ain't gonna win.
You are in for a rude awakening, man.
Hey, I'm a Chutes and Ladder pro. What do you enjoy most about training jiu-jitsu?
Just the progression, man. Like this, the progression, like it keeps me healthy. It's great for my mental. Like, I have a problem with like what was mainly like when I was like drinking. Like, I was living in my head a lot. Like, I overthink about everything, like the smallest things. Like it kind of helps with that. And I don't know. It keeps me. It gives me my peace. Like it aids at giving me my peace, man.
Good.
I go into work like feeling safe. When I'm on a unit, everybody else feels safe. Like
Nice.
I would say, yeah, it helps a lot, bro.
That's good. Like, as a blue belt out there in the practice room, like, do you feel? Because I always feel like us as blue belts, I never really think of a blue belt as a higher rank. I still think of us as like kind of like we're still learning. We're learning a lot. But do you have moments where like phase belts and even white belts come to you like like looking up to you, like you're in a mentor position to some degree with some of the lower belts?
I did have one instance where the last grappler industry, funny story, the last grappler industry that we did, I think can I think of the kid's name? Like, he's a phase belt. Well, like prior to me competing, like we were in class and we were, like you drill and you spar, and this dude triangle choked me. He was a white belt at the time. And I'm like, dude, like that was like when I realized, like, the white belts, and I'm gonna get to that, like the blue belt part too, like it's kind of different, man. And but when we were at Grappler Industries, I think he lost one of his matches, and I had won my first ski match, and he came to me and was talking to me and was asking me for some advice, and I'm like, bro, like, like basically saying the same thing, like, man, like as long as you do this, man, you're gonna take losses, bro. Like don't harp on it. So it's happened. Like that's the one time that I can think of.
And for you, as a blue belt on the mats, dealing with the upper belts, like purple and above, is like, do you have those moments like, that the white belt had with you or the face belt had with you, where you look up to them and say, hey, man, like, what's going on?
Bro, I have it with the other blue belts. Like that was that. So again, I'm sorry about that. If I was going to talk about this, I would have to throw shade, man. Like, the blue belts at our school, man, these guys are on an entirely different level, man. Like, I remember my first role with Christian Bear, and I'm like, bro, there's no way this dude is a blue belt, man. Like, this dude is different, man. Like, and like all the competitive blue belts, like, I don't think I've like, and not that that's my goal, but like, I don't even recall like a time where like I may have scored on these guys, like when we in there, like sparring. But yeah, so definitely with the other belts, man. Like, but like a lot of the blue belts, like I go to them for advice, like all the time, man. Like,
Yeah, like I think our guys, just in general, guys and gals, they're just different.
yeah,
Yeah. Like I go to other gyms from time to time, and the hospitality is always wonderful.
yeah.
And then when you're rolling with their blue belts, it's like, this feels funny.
I'm not gonna say names or talk about situations, man. Like, but that's just a testament to the progression I've made. Like, so I gotta like, I did make that mistake of like judging my progression on like what I was doing at like open mats, which I felt like was a mistake because it's like this. Okay, this is not competition. Like, a competitive blue belt, man. Like I've seen like different coaches, like on like whether it be like social media, or like just in general, like if you got somebody that like if you got like a blue belt that's competitive, like he might beat up on your average local purple, brown, or black belt even.
Oh yeah.
Like, and I've had my moments where like I said, I'm not going to say names, but I've had my moments where I've done fairly well against upper belts from locals. So.
Good. Like in our own training room, like I just be getting mopped.
Oh, welcome to the party. Well, you welcome me to the party, man.
Like I said, I record my rounds, and I try to go back and okay, I could do better here. I think, was it last week? I think the last 2 weeks is like, I just looked at 6 videos of me just getting manhandled. I'm like, all right, maybe it was off morning. Maybe I didn't eat breakfast. I don't know. Did I have my vitamins that morning? Like, no, it's just, those dudes are that good.
Yeah.
It's like, and I appreciate having to train with the folks at 88 because, it's not the, talk, down on other gyms, but it's like, and there are, a few of the gyms around here, great atmosphere. Like, I think, again, I feel like our atmosphere is, just a lot more like, we're a big old family. I know people talk about like, oh, in job situations, especially like if they use the family word, it's toxic. It's like, no, it's like everybody cool there. Everybody chill. Like there have been times where like I might have crossed paths with somebody like, maybe once or twice. And then I'll see them another time like a year later and I'm greeted as if like, oh, yo, what's up? Like, ain't seen you in a while. It's like they could have just easily walked by. I was like,
Right.
nah, they, welcome me in like, I've been there for the last 2 weeks. And I love that about our gym. I mean, we have a big gym. So,
Yeah.
It's not like, this is a tiny rinky-dink gym. Everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
This is a big-ass gym, and everybody knows your name. So, we like cheers. So, let's, like, we're in the right place, son.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you see your journey in jiu-jitsu progressing from this point, moving on into the next year, into the new year?
Well, on a positive note, I'd say that there's only one way, and that's up. But naturally, it's going to be, I imagine it being a ride, like whether it be a rough one, it's going to be a ride, like and rides are unpredictable. And I'm going to put everything into it for it to be positive, for it to be just up, but I expect it to be a ride. It would be a rough, bumpy one. Only time will tell.
Fair enough. From what I've seen in my experiences with you, it's like, from that day at, the open mat, and you were kind of nervous, like up to now, I can feel that you're different. Again, you're nervous now. Now there's this confidence. There's this like, you're speaking, like I belong here. This is home, and I know I can do it. So, you're definitely moving in the right direction. So,
I appreciate that, man. It's an honor coming from you, bro.
I got the soundboard here. Hold on. Let's see. Let's make some noise.
I'm
but
honored, man.
But yeah, like, and I'm glad you're able to come out here and share your story with us here. I'm actually trying to. I keep saying this. I just haven't done it yet because it's too many projects. I'm trying to do group episodes at the gym. Upcoming. That's probably going to be my goal for 2025. Is like to get everybody together, different groups. Have like three people groups. I see. As I said, 3 people. I didn't say 3 men, 3 people. So Coach Vanessa has been on here a few times, so try to get these groups of 3s out here and do some of these episodes. So, and this is part of why, like, I try to sit down with folks. It's like, well, let me fill you out. All right, cool. All right, we're gonna have a fun time. All right, let's go ahead and get some other folks involved. So, definitely hear the confidence in you, from just a year ago, and seeing it also going out there competing, on not the local level. Like now you're getting on these national levels, where you're traveling to compete, and that's fucking huge because
Yeah, man.
you get cats like, hey, so like what the Benfield Sports Complex is 8 minutes from here. It's
Right.
Oh yeah, there's a Newbury, or I'll go do that. It's down the street. Like, I could jog to that, but yeah, I'm glad to see the progress that you're making and just where you've come from. So
Appreciate that, man.
Congrats on that. Was that?
Oops. Oh yeah, that's sorry.
Well, that was you. Okay, I was like, was that an action figure that just fell down? This fucking thing's always just jumping off the top of the shelves. Before we get out of here, I do want to ask you, with your experience now and seeing where you are, Marv, day one, stepping onto the mats, what would you say to that guy in preparing him for this journey?
I would say to him to just be confident and let the process happen. Like, it's gonna be okay, man. Like, it's not. Navarro said this to me, man. Like the other day, like when I was complaining about my experience at like one of the matches I lost. He was like, man, paying bills is serious. He just got into all these. He said, like, doing this, if you're not having fun, like, then you shouldn't be doing it. Like, he's like, this is not that serious, and that's what I would tell myself. Like, it's not it's not like that big of a deal, man. Like, just go out there, learn, and have fun, and it's gonna be okay. Like, you're gonna get where you need to be at.
Sound advice. I ask that question because sometimes that's what me asking advice. Like, hey, like, tell me how can I have more fun with this, get better. So, but that's solid because if you're not having fun, why are you really fucking doing this?
Yeah, exactly.
So Marv, let's go ahead and wrap this up, man.
Hey, man, like I said, it was an honor to be here, man. When I got the call, like I was excited, bro.
Well, good. And I mean, thank you for doing this. Like I genuinely, when people, if I ask someone, they say yes, they want to be on. Like, I'm honored because I'm like, oh my God, y'all want to sit down and talk with me? Because like I said, I'm like, when I'm at the gym, I'm very like about my business.
Yeah,
I
see.
I talk to Mark, I talk to Huggy. And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't really do it, I sit around and, some mat chats afterwards, talk a little bit, but I'm about my business. So, when somebody says, yeah, I'll be happy to sit down. I'm like, dude, I'm super honored. So thank you for not only being on, but also making the trip out here, because I was like, look, I'm gonna give you an option. You can do this remote, be comfortable at home, or come through. Because like, if you come in, you're the first person to come through midweek.
Oh wow!
Because most times it's like it's a weekend thing. It's like, hey, y'all trying to do this like at 2:00 on a Sunday? Like, all right, cool. Like, let's go. It's like during the week, I'm like, I mean, we can do this, or I mean, we can do it remote. So thank you for making the trip out here.
No problem, man.
Before we get out of here, you got any shout outs or mentions that you want to leave the audience with?
Besides the guys at the school, man, Coach Sergio, Coach Keith, my guy Jeremy, Joe, Mark, like, we went into battle together this past weekend, and other than anybody that I missed, man, you know who you are. Like, anybody that's just a part of this journey, that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, thank you to everyone at 88, because without 88, we ain't here.
Yeah, I missed that. But that's pretty. I mean, I guess it's obvious, but yeah.
Now that's me trying to add new stuff into the thank yous also. Because whenever I do my shout outs at the end, it's like I always forget to shout out our gym.
Epps. I
yeah,
adore that
Epps.
dude, man. I told Jeremy, man, like he's tied for like the number one spot. I adore him, man. Like as much as crazy as that dude is, like as far as his talent, like he is such a nice guy, bro.
Yes. Like Epps is another one where it's like it's like asking him to explain something. He's gonna get you there. You're going to go on a journey to get there, but you'll get the answers. Just like, okay, I don't know what any of that had to do with anything, but I got the answer. Thanks, coach.
Yeah.
So shout out to Epps.
Yeah.
And as always to the listeners, shout out to you and thank you. If you have any questions, concerns, criticisms, feedback, whatever, let me know. You can reach me at bjj.wiki on Instagram or Off the Mats Podcast also on Instagram. You can email offthemats2020 at gmail. Yeah, try that one. And actually, yeah, I do have a new email, bjj.wiki.co@gmail.com. Don't email that one because I don't even think that's right. But either way, thank you to all of the listeners. We do appreciate you. I want to give a big shout out to my crew over at Nerd Rage Radio. Bobby, Chris, Joe, Marilyn, Phil, Ricky, Tiki, all those guys. Thank you. There's a lot more, but those are usually the names I remember off top. It's like Wu-Tang over there. There's like 20 members, yo. It's starting to get out of hand. Like, you got 60 Seconds Assassin over there now, like adding to the group. It's like, is he really a member or is he just kind of an affiliate? We don't know. But if it wasn't for Nerd Rage Radio, I wouldn't be doing a podcast. So thank you. I started with those guys, and here I am. I want to say 10 years later, 12 years later, doing my own thing. So thank you to Nerd Rage Radio. Also want to give a shout out to my other podcasts. So you like horror? If you like scary movies, go check that shit out. 2025. We already recorded the intro episode for 2025's theme, remakes versus originals. It was a fun one. I had Marilyn, Phil, and Joe from Nerd Rage Radio over there on the episode, and we did what we normally do. We talked about the theme, but we also kind of veered off, had a lot of fun, and just looking at the movies that we're going to be discussing throughout the year, I'm excited. So y'all should get excited too. And also another shout out to my other podcast, because I don't do this one enough, but Compton Beer Club. We review beers, but look, Rampage Jackson actually liked it the other day. And if it's good enough for Rampage and your mom, it's good enough for you. So go check out the Compton Beer Club as well. We review beers. We talk about who knows, current events, sports, whatever. And sometimes we say bad words. And also go leave a review for Off the Mats. If you're listening to this on Spotify, go leave a review. If you listen to it on Apple Podcasts, go leave a review. You leave a nice review, I'll read it on air. If you leave a bad review, I'll probably read it on air too, and we're going to roast you. But go leave a nice review and give us 5 stars, because it helps the algorithm. It helps people see the show, and it gets us listeners. And then I get money. And let me tell you, eggs is high. Gas is high. The milk is high. Shit is expensive. So help me out. Go leave a review. Get me some money, because I'm broke. And last but not least, I want to give a big shout out here to my guest, Mr. Marvin Green. Thank you again for coming out here, sharing your story. Thank you for just being a good time.
Thank you for having me, brother.
I definitely want to sit down and talk with you again. Not only got the nerves out the way, you're like, I'm not so nervous anymore. Now you're like, okay, all right, we ready, so we can do this now. But I'm glad you made it out here. I'm glad you're my guest. I'm glad we got to sit here and talk and get to know each other. And I feel like, okay, now I see you at the gym. It's like, all right, man, like, let's go ahead and roll. Don't wrist lock me, because I'm going to tell you right now, you wrist lock me.
I ain't even good at those, bro.
Like, I'm not either. You're a blue belt. You can do it to everybody.
Yeah.
I be telling white belts to wrst lock people.
Yeah. So. Get the magic real quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like wrist lock the world. Shout out to Pete the Greek. But as always, we love you guys. Thank you for listening. Go leave a review. Again, go leave a review. I'm gonna put this at the beginning too. Go leave a review. Say some words too. And you know what it is. You guys keep listening. We're gonna definitely keep making these shows. Thank you, everybody. And goodbye.
Deep with it. Now let me sing a song.